Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me again in the car for this one. Still a bit chilly outside. This video, I'll be upfront with you, is about reform. Right from the off, I'm going to say it. Now, every time I do a video about reform, I get accused of stirring the pot, splitting the vote, dividing the right, and just about everything else. So be it. It's my channel, it's my opinion. I have just as much a right to do videos about reform as the rest of you do for criticising me for it. I watched a video yesterday. It was an interview that Paul Thorpe did with a guy called Job, who was one of these regional coordinators for reform, who has since resigned. Now, the reason he resigned was made very clear within the interview that he did with Paul Thorpe. And I'll leave a link in the description to that video so you can go and see it if you haven't done so already. It's about half an hour long. Now, some of the things that Job said in this interview were very alarming indeed, and it would give a lot of people pause for thought as to what they were going to do voting intention wise and what they were going to support. But really, I think it's decision time. I've made my decision. I want to tell you what it is and the rationale behind it. At the end of the day, no matter what's coming out about reform, whether it be stuff to do with their limited company status, whether it be to do with things that are going on, people that have been kicked out for views on, say, Tommy, or they've resigned for anything else, a lot of this traffic seems to be coming from the management of reform, we will call them. Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, whoever it happens to be. At this moment in time. That is the key point here, at this moment in time. We have former members of the Conservative Party potentially coming over to reform. I have a massive problem with that myself, which I've explained in further videos. Now, we really have to make a decision here. Do we support reform of our political situation, or do we support reform as a party? It's very important distinguishment between the two. Now, me personally, I support reform of our political way of doing things. And if we divide the right, if we start, well, effectively slagging off Nigel Farage and everything else, and start sticking the boot in, then I fear that that process of reform will be pushed, if not several years further down the line. It's a very crucial time we're coming up to with a lot of things going on in the news. You've just got to look, and it's very alarming, all of it. The other thing to consider as well is, do we really want a party full of rank and file Tory members and what could end up being just another establishment quango, just a safety net for pissed off politicians? So we have two choices. We can either cut them off and think, no, you're no good, you're one of them, or we deal with it from the inside. Because what reform is at the end of the day, if you forget Farage and forget Tice, and the point I made earlier is they are the leaders at this moment in time. We have a very important vehicle for change. We have a party that can be filled with normal people, you, me, other business people that actually have some kind of idea what works in the real world. Now, a very casing point here is Rupert Lowe. He is absolutely brilliant. I can't fault the guy with what he's doing. Could you imagine if we had more Rupert Lowes? Could you imagine if we had more Noel Wilcoxes? It really would be something to behold, wouldn't it? Now, the problem is obviously Farage and the management and everything else, but you imagine a general election, and if Farage lost his seat, then what? Reform is a vehicle we can use to change things. There's many people out there, my own constituency included, where reform people are trying to get this off the ground with not really a great deal of support from head office, and I've got proof of that in an email as well. And this can happen at the grassroots, and we've got to make the decision. Are we bothered by what Farage does, or can we really get behind and change this? Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a look at these videos that have just popped up. Thank you for your support, and as always, I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.